Ever find yourself wondering, were things really more affordable back in the day? Like, did a dollar actually go further?
Yeah, it's a question we hear a lot, right? This idea that America was once this land of affordable dreams.
Exactly. And it's a question worth exploring,
Yeah.
especially with, all the talk about making America great again. So that's what we're diving into today, the whole idea of affordability then versus now. And of course, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, climate change. How did that factor into the equation?
Right, because that's a huge part of the story, too.
For sure. So, to kick things off, we've been digging into this fascinating podcast about, well, prices, basically, everyday stuff. And some of the comparisons are pretty wild.
Oh, I bet. Like what?
Okay, get this. Back in the day, you could apparently buy a whole car for the price of like a top-of-the-line espresso machine today.
Wow. Okay, that's a stark difference. It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? Makes you realize how much inflation has changed the game.
It really does. Though I guess it's not just about comparing straight-up price tags, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Got to consider the bigger picture. Like, sure, a gallon of gas might seem ridiculously cheap by today's standards, but when you factor in that the average weekly wage was around 40 bucks back then,
It kind of evens out.
well, yeah, it means that gas actually ate up a bigger chunk of their income than it does for most people today.
Huh. So even though the price tag was smaller, it doesn't mean it was necessarily easier to manage.
Precisely. It's about the whole picture wages, cost of living, all of it.
Which brings up another interesting point. While things seemed more affordable back then, what about the hidden costs? Were we overlooking the environmental impact? The very practices that kept prices down then could be contributing to the climate challenges and higher costs we're facing now.
100%. It's easy to forget that climate change is an economic issue. Think about the increase in extreme weather events. Hurricanes, droughts, wildfires, all those disasters disrupt supply chains, leading to shortages.
And when things are in short supply,
The prices skyrocket, basic necessities become luxury items, and of course there's the cost of shifting to cleaner energy and more sustainable practices. That's a whole other layer.
so it feels like we're trying to reconcile this desire for the affordable past with the realization that those choices may have inadvertently fueled the affordability crisis of today.
It's about finding a new way forward, a sustainable path that hopefully balances both.
And that's the key takeaway here, right? It's not just about comparing price tags from different eras. It's about understanding the complex interplay of economic and environmental forces at work.
Absolutely. Progress has a cost, no doubt. But here's the thing. Inaction. That might cost us even more in the long run, both financially and in terms of the planet. So as you reflect on all this, here's something to ponder. How do we balance our desire for affordability with the urgent need for a sustainable future? What does true progress really look like, and what role do we each play in creating that?
Lots to think about. Thanks for diving into this with us.